Dan, how do you keep the momentum going into this weekend?
Oh, it's I said it the other day. Team chemistry is starting pitching, and we got a lot of momentum right now because we're running on 6-8 games with really good starts on the mound. And obviously, you got to play defense behind them, and got to have good at bats. But our pitching staff's been setting the tone, and it's given us a chance these last couple of weeks.
I know you don't look ahead, but in the grand scheme, every one of these ACC games are important. And with Virginia, they're a team that is going to be at the end of the year a good RPI victory if you can get a series win.
Yeah, that's the good thing about our league is we really don't separate one weekend from the next because everybody in the ACC is good, have good RPIs. For us, it's just let's not make it more than it is. It's one game, and it'll eventually be 3 games when the weekend's over. But we're very familiar with their program, the success, the history, really good pitching staff. So we'll be prepared, but we're mostly focused on what do we do? What do we do well? And we talked about it. We got to pitch and got to play good defense and really compete because it's traditionally it's always a great pitching staff. They always got great arms and they always make you earn it.
How big was the lineup switch in the batting order? It seems like everybody is more maybe comfortable might be the right word right now with where they're at.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily sometimes more credit gets put on where they hit in the lineup as opposed to their approach and what it is they're trying to do, and sometimes we look at the spot of the lineup more than the actual player itself. But Oriente's in a great spot because where we thought he could drive in a lot of runs, we've always had a good guy in that 6 or 7 spot that could try to drive in those 3, 4, 5 hitters. I think Josh is probably the one guy that take him out of the leadoff spot and give him a chance to hit with runners on base because he'll tell you if there's nobody on, he'll get a little big and try to do too much. Sometimes when there's runners on base, he'll shorten up, just try to move the ball. Now on the flip side, I got other guys who, when there's nobody on base, they take really good at bats, and then when there's runners on base, they get too amped up. So you have some guys you think are good in spots with runners on base, and you have other guys that probably try to do too much in those situations. And that's, I guess, when it comes to the lineup, that's where you try to put those guys in the right spots. But at the end of the day, your 8-hole hitter is going to come up with runners on base and runners in scoring position, and someone's going to have to get a 2-out hit. And I think the other night that was the key. We got some big 2-out hits and helped extend the lead, and we like playing with a lead just because we're aggressive.
You mentioned your pitching staff. Has it just been experience for guys like Bobby Miller and Reed to kind of find their rhythm?
Yeah, I think with freshmen, you'd love to start the year and flip them the ball and then just run out and be awesome. But you got to go through some growing pains. You got to really figure out what's college baseball all about, how good these hitters are, what the strike zones are like, and when you have to make pitches and field your position and control the running game. And you try to prepare freshmen for that, but you can only do so much. There's no better teaching time than the season itself. So, I felt great 2 weeks ago with our rotation, even when Bobby was on a short stint there against NC State, and they pitched great at Virginia Tech. And then, Tuesday night, for Reed Detmers to do what we all thought he could do, that's a good feeling, as a coaching staff, that you feel like, okay, now we got 4 starters that seem to be in a good place and give us a chance. And I said it the other night, and everybody's always hoping for another arm or 2 to get going. We've got the talented guys, and for us, if we can get 1 or 2 more guys going, then you feel like, wow, you've got a really deep, complete pitching staff, and the value of that pitching staff week in and week out, and then the ACC tournament and the postseason.
Seems like Bordner, he had a couple little bumps there, but it seemed like the last 2 outings he's back to, or 3, I guess.
Yeah, he's, the world of a closer is, when you give up a run in the 9th, and you're going to give up a run in the 9th, you're kind of held responsible for it. And he had a couple tough nine innings there, but one of those games we lost that game in the 6th and the 7th and the 8th. He just happened to pitch in the 9th, and we gave up runs in the 9th, but we shouldn't have lost that game, and he shouldn't even have been a factor. So he's he's having another All-American year. I know he's got the double-digit saves. He's pitched in other games where he doesn't get a save, but he looks great. And as I talked about the starting pitching, it's hard to not feel good knowing that you got a great closer as well. And that's been our history. That's what Roger Williams has been able to do, is have a great weekend rotation and have a great closer and have a really good bullpen. And we think our bullpen is really good. And it was a little shaky there for a few weeks, but they've pitched well, just like the starters the last few weeks.
Dan, on Monday you're talking about Zach Britton maybe being one of those guys who can kind of turn the corner for you. How do you manage with Zeke being back now with all three of those guys?
Yeah, I talked to Pat about what I wanted to do with Zeke, and then I talked to Zach about what I want to do with Zeke. It's just hard. Zeke is such an experienced catcher, really good receiver. The guys love throwing to him. That we feel like Zeke and Pat give us the best chance now. Now Britton's starting to get the bat going, so you got to try to find at bats for him. And I got 2 at bats in the Virginia Tech game. I almost got him one the other night because I just believe he's going to hit. I think he's going to hit. And he and Lucas Dunn. Lucas Dunn, Levy being out of the lineup for a weekend gave us a chance to see Lucas 3 consecutive games. And that's usually the hardest part with the young guys, is you see him a game here and there, but you don't get to see him, for 10 to 12 to 15 at bats in a row. So Lucas is a guy. I got him in the game the other night, and there's no doubt those 2 freshmen are going to help us, and the sophomores continue to get better. And Mann and Storrs have been good, but I think they know that there's another level in them, and those guys could get hot and carry you for a weekend or a week or 2 weeks. So we're in a good place right now. We just need to keep improving.
Dan, Todd Essler's a guy that meant so much to this game, and I understand you guys are going to have a night for him this weekend.
Saturday will be the Todd Essler Day, and we're going to honor him. His family's going to be here, a lot of friends and family of the Essler family, and we got his wallpaper when you come out of the locker room right there. We're going to unveil the plaque, even though we've had the plaque up. We want to officially unveil it Saturday, and obviously we want to get his family out here, and we just, we want to keep his memory going as we have Todd on all of our game hats. But, we want to remind the fans and even our program that we're without somebody that we love this year, and we miss him. So let's, as the weather's getting good and we're playing good baseball, he would love this. He would be here right now, and he'd have stuck with us through the tough month, and he'd be as happy as anybody right now that we're playing good. So I enjoy just thinking about him and talking about him. So I think Saturday will be a really neat day to honor him.
Anything else?
Appreciate it.
All right.